Crazy stuff is happening in California, LA. The part of the city was destroyed by the fire. Just look at this thermal camera. Many of the quarters, districts, they are gone. Well, I know that there are the fires happening in California almost every year, but this year was definitely unlucky for the wind direction, speed, and fire spread towards the city. Just look at the outcome here. All of the buildings in the district were absolutely demolished. It's like the war zone. It's total madness, and there are tons of the pictures like that you may find in the internet. And here in this video you may see a McDonald's sign and huge, absolutely strong wind that blows all of those sparks and the fire just towards the city. It's crazy. On the X platform, people are spreading this video from Joe Rogan's podcast where he speaks about the fire July 19, 2024. Let's check it out.
I talked to a fireman once. This is one of the reasons it freaked me out. And he was telling me, he goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean. And there's not a fucking thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing they can do.
Actually, there's nothing you can do. You can just try to eliminate the fire, but mainly it's just useless. Well, I'm not the firefighting expert, but what I know that the houses, they're built from the light wooden, usually materials, which burn quite well. And just Google house in Europe. Yes, old houses are made out of wood, or if you want, they can make you the wooden house. But mainly buildings from the households, they're made out of the concrete materials, bricks, and so on. So they're very, very robust. And if you go House USA, let's go House USA, those also look nice, but they're made out of wood and composite materials in most of the cases. In not all of the cases, but in most. Out of, I think it's proper in English, yeah. You see that even some of the quarters, they're made out of wood, wooden houses elsewhere. And also I was shocked about the prices of American buildings, that they're made out of, I would say, cheap materials, relatively, but the price depends on location, especially in California, LA. It could be very high, millions of dollars for those houses built out of, I don't know how even to call it, compressed wood, the same stuff IKEA uses to produce their furniture. So as for me, the prices for the houses like that are damn high. But you know, we have what we have in the United States, so they build houses from those materials, mostly. And you know, fire simply doesn't care. Even celebrities are losing their homes together with rich people. But they're rich after all. I think for the ordinary people, it's the big tragedy to lose the house. For those people, well, it's the loss, but not that significant. And here how the fire spreads across those mountains. You can see that because of the wind, it's very intense. And I'm now on Blank Larry channel, guy who lives also in California, and he has many of the updates about the aviation crashes, incidents, accidents, and here he also speaks about fire updates. I'm gonna put his video just in the link for you to check it out, and here, well, he knows what he speaks about.
Fire snake up this canyon. So take a look at this canyon here. There's no fire in this canyon right here, but now there is fire. So the fire is backing up the terrain, but being driven by the winds pushing down the terrain, the downsloping, hot, dry Santa Ana winds that are up to about 60 to sometimes gusting to 70 miles per hour. Now, if we go to the CAL FIRE website, where they've got 4 major wildfires in the Southern California area. This is one of them, the Palisades fire. And look at this sudden change in the number of acres. Now they're reporting on this website 11,802 acres. Just earlier this morning, they were calling this fire at 5,000 acres. Here's an interesting live view of both of these fires from Verdugo Peak, located just to the north of LA. In the press briefing, some of the emergency services personnel were explaining how this Eaton fire is primarily an LA County fire at this point. The LA County Fire Department is working it, and they are fighting it primarily using urban water sources. But some of those resources were ordered up before the firestorm even started, and so they're going to get a big bunch of CAL FIRE help from numerous counties all around California and Nevada to help battle these blazes.
And let's also go live flight radar 24. This is LA, and here is where the things are happening. And already you can see many of the airplanes, some of them are spotters, but those helicopters are used to eliminate the fire. One more spotter airplane, Pilatus 12, so they monitor what is happening on the ground on fire. The firefighting air vehicles are in operation. You can see that they land here in the ocean, they take the water and deliver it everything to extinguish the fire. So we may say that it is the hot spot they're working now. At least 1, 2, 3 planes are here, and this is spotter. You can see live event. Wow. Before destruction happened in this place, and now it's going here to the Brentwood Park. Unfortunately, the wind is not good since it's blowing from the north southbound. Well, at the same time, I don't think that there is the huge risk for Los Angeles itself. Just maybe for this part, but still there are thousands of people who were forced to leave their homes, and also many lost their homes, unfortunately. And I think that those are the Canada planes, after all, which helped to eliminate the wildfires in California. Because Justin Trudeau said like neighbors helping neighbors. And there is also the problems with insurance companies, which refuse to insure the households they think are kind of vulnerable towards the wildfires. Insurances in California have been refusing to write new policies in areas they consider to be at high risk of wildfires, which is a large percentage of the state. So many of the households were in lack of this wildlife insurance. So yes, many of the households were not insured. So insurance companies, as you know from the health insurance cases and sometimes auto insurance, well, they do not work normally. They are not people oriented at all. They want profit. They don't want to pay. And this article dated from December 31st, so 10 days ago, where they say that the state government will require insurances to offer home coverage in wildfire-prone areas. So they thought about it, but the fire happened very, very soon. The house insurance in the United States could be very expensive in some of the areas of California, also Florida because of the hurricanes. But you know, some of the politicians are using this tragic event in their favor. Like for example, Donald Trump Jr., the son of Donald Trump, actually accused Ukraine and the fire department of the United States of California. Oh look, of course the LA fire department donated a bunch of their supplies to Ukraine. And you can see that donation happened on March 18th, 2022, so more than 2 years ago. And it happened like 20 days after Russia started the full-scale war against Ukraine, so that equipment was used to protect Ukrainians, to help Ukrainians to fight against the fires which were caused by the Russian attacks. And this guy accuses the United States Fire Department in LA for donating their equipment. Was the 2 years enough to buy the new equipment? And let's fact check the stuff. Did California donate firefighting equipment to Ukraine? Well, yes. But we have the information from the firefighter in Clinton that it was the used firefighting gear to send to Ukraine. And it was the massive support of Ukraine, not just LA, but 10 of the states had sent safety equipment. And we speak about not sophisticated equipment, but hoses, nozzles, turnouts, helmets, body armor, and other associated personal protective equipment, which could be easily regained by the fire department. And I'm sure it was done. They just got some of the used stuff, they sent it to Ukraine, and now Donald Trump Jr. is angry about it. So yeah, obviously for the fact check, it is true. So California did donate the fire equipment as many of the states, and it was done properly to support a nation which is under the strike of the Russian missiles, unprovoked attack performed by a Russian aggressor. But here Donald Trump again is angry about it. Well, people are sharing those kind of the images. Then the firefighters are pouring some of the water from their fire trucks. You can see, oh, probably they're in lack of water, but they don't need to put the hose out for this kind of the small fire. So for them, it's easily to grab the bucket, put it out. It's the special bucket, by the way. It's better to walk there several times to put it out than to put the hose out. For the significant fire, like in the same video, there is the significant fire definitely on the background. They put the hose out. They put it out, you can see it over here. So people who are sharing those kind of the videos, they do not understand how they work. It's the some portion of the small fire elsewhere. Put this small fire out by the time you need your fire truck somewhere else. And again, some people are trying to blame the fire department because there are some of the LGBT activists there. Yes, the fire chief is lesbian, so what? What's this natural disaster has to do with it? So lesbians are not allowed to take some of the positions in the United States. I thought that in democratic states you are free to be wherever you want, and it doesn't matter whom you believe, love, and so on. And Elon Musk also blames Ukraine, so here he tweets kind of the old tweet about the USAID support of the Ukrainian fire department. He says, "What's about California? Elon Musk, freaking fuck, this is the old news."
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing.
Let's go to the fact check. What is really happening? Explanation for the shortage came down 3 nearby water tanks, each with a storage capacity of about 1 million gallons. These tanks help to maintain enough pressure for the water to travel uphill through pipes, homes, and fire hydrants. But the pressure had decreased due to heavy water use, and officials knew the tanks couldn't keep up the drain forever. We pushed the system to extreme. 4 times the normal demand was in 15 hours straight, which lowered our water pressure. So officials say that firefighters drew more and more water from the trunk line or main supply. They used water that would have refilled the tank, eventually depleting them. In its turn, it decreased the water pressure which is needed for the water to travel uphill. I want to make sure that you understand that the water on the trunk line is just cannot get up the hill because we cannot fill the tanks fast enough. So it's not the problem with the fish or complete absence of water. No, it is there. It just needs time to go to those tanks to go later on uphill. The demand was so large that the firefighters used the water from those tanks, and yeah, you need to have some time. And yes, probably the local authorities might think about installing more of those water tanks in the area because they didn't expect it, but there is absolutely no problem connected to the absence of water or the freaking fish which Trump put here. And yes, for now it's the overstatement and also speculation from MAGA politicians because you know California is a blue state. If it was Florida, Trump would probably blame Joe Biden because he is still president. And now he blames Gavin Newsom, a governor of California. Yeah, kind of interesting detective we have all the time when Trump says something you need to fact check, and in most of the cases is just bullshit. Guys, it's my trash channel, so I'm free to talk about everything I want to talk. Well, anyways, I hope that the fire will be extinguished soon, and it's all what I want to say today. See ya.